Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Astronaut and I am really excited to see you guys. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and joining me once again for another gaming update here. Today I'm going to be talking about the latest updates for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I am really excited to be bringing you this news. Actually, all of it is not entirely new. If you've been keeping up with the gaming updates for the game for over the past month, you will know that a lot of this is really pretty much related. All the articles are pretty much related to one another because the last three character reveals have been Kid Buu, Gotenks, and Adult Gohan, and so we've basically just been waiting for the release of the trailers for all three of those characters, and at this point all three have already come out. They've been revealed, they have their own trailers, so that's pretty much why I decided to do this video here, to go ahead and go over the release of the two trailers for Adult Gohan and Kid Buu. But before I get started with that, I kind of want to do a brief gamer rant for just a second and just kind of talk about what's going on with the development of the game. Unfortunately, guys, still there is no announced date for the start of the open beta. They have not given us anything to work with just yet. They continue to keep it in articles. Whenever you see something published about the game, they always mention the open beta. They already have the knowledge out there that you do have to order a digital copy from either the Xbox online store or the PlayStation online store to reserve the right to participate in it, but they still have not given us a date. And it's interesting to me because week after week is slowly passing by, and this game is supposed to be coming out January 26th, which is at this point it's like about maybe a month and a half away. So if they're going to do an open beta, you know, we can only expect it to be sometime within the near future. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eyes open for that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that the final roster count has still not been announced. So as of right now, we have a count of 21 characters that have been officially added to the official roster, but Bandai Namco has not given us a total count as far as how many will finally make the cut. Will it be 25? Will it stop at 21? Will it go all the way up to 30? So we're still waiting on that total count there. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the Japanese voice actors. Guys, I don't know how y'all feel about this. If y'all are really hardcore Japanime fans, then maybe y'all really enjoy hearing the Japanese voice actors in the trailers and whatnot. But me personally, I would really like to hear the English overdubs or the English voice actors in the gameplay and the trailers and whatnot, so I can get a better idea of how the game is coming together cohesively. And I have nothing against the Japanese actors or anything, but one thing that I have noticed is that whenever they do recruit certain Japanese voice actors, the pitch of a lot of the characters tends to go up. Like, for example, I've seen footage where in Japanese, if you hear Frieza, if you ever hear Frieza talking in Japanese, his voice is sometimes higher. In the gameplay trailer that they just released for Adult Gohan, his voice is much higher, and that is such a conflict with me. I've kind of grown accustomed to the vocal tone for the English actors that were in the Dragon Ball Z series when it was on TV with the Cartoon Network, things like that, and how Funimation did that translation. And hearing a lot of the Japanese voice actors and how the vocal pitch sometimes is much higher, or really a far stretch from how the English voice actors overdub the voices, that kind of throws me off from really being able to get into the game the way I'd like to. But anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out. Maybe if any of you have some comments about that, you can leave some comments in the comment section below and we can have a discussion about that. And finally, the one last thing I wanted to talk about is I really think that Bandai Namco is trying very, very hard to get this game up and running in a certain way, because from the articles that I've read in the past, Bandai Namco has been having a lot of trouble getting some recognition for their efforts and getting respect in the fighting game genre. There's been Budokai and the other games that they've released, but none of these games have actually been elevated to a position of respect in the fighting game community. So I think that's why they're taking so much time to develop this game, because if you've noticed, we've had a closed beta, and then now we're about to have an open beta, and now the game will be out in early 2018, and the game isn't even out just yet, but yet you know, you get online and we can see all this footage. You know, a lot of YouTube gamers have uploaded their experiences from playing the closed beta, so the game is already circulating, it's already out, but for some reason Bandai Namco keeps holding their finger on that, you know, on that button that kind of has been slowing down the whole process of the development. So I think they're just trying to take as much time as possible to bring all elements of the game together, to figure out which characters that people really want to play as, so that they make sure to include them in the game. And you can kind of tell, because a lot of the process for this development is really kind of getting dragged out, and so I really can't wait for the actual copy of the game to actually be on shelves on January 26th. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move on to what this video is really all about, which is to discuss the release of the trailer for Adult Gohan and Kid Buu. I have two articles that I'm going to read to you guys. Actually, I'm going to condense it into one, because the information in both of the articles are fairly redundant, and so I don't want to just keep reading the same thing over and over. So I'm going to start off with the article that has to do with Adult Gohan, and then I will read some excerpts from the article that has to do with Kid Buu. So the article is titled "New Dragon Ball FighterZ Trailer Showcases Adult Gohan and Kid Buu." It goes on to start off saying, Bandai Namco has released a new character trailer for Dragon Ball FighterZ. As was the case with previous character trailers, this one is fairly brief, but it provides our first look at one of the game's three most recent announced fighters, Adult Gohan. While Teen Gohan was one of the first characters confirmed for Dragon Ball FighterZ, his adult counterpart differs in some notable ways. According to Japanese magazine V-Jump, which unveiled Adult Gohan last month, he can unlock his potential during a battle depending on the amount of chi in his chi gauge, and his special attack is the ultimate Kamehameha. Another new trailer has been announced for Majin Buu's original incarnation, Kid Buu. Like previous character trailers, the new video is very brief, but it provides a closer look at Kid Buu's unique offense. He has been described as one of the most wild and unpredictable characters on the Dragon Ball FighterZ roster, thanks to his tricky moveset. Along with being able to stretch his limbs to attack opponents from afar, Kid Buu can also turn fighters into candy or curl up into a ball and hurl himself at them. Alright everyone, that concludes that article. I hope you found it to be informative. And the trailers for Adult Gohan and Kid Buu are currently available on YouTube right now. They were just recently released over the past few days, so if you want to check out their moveset, their abilities, and their special moves, you will be able to check out just a glimpse of that in those gameplay trailers. And just lastly, just a little commentary about Bandai Namco. Apparently, I guess Bandai kind of has this no character left behind policy, because just when I think I've heard all the characters that are going to be in the game, they always kind of throw in one extra character, and then another extra character, and then another extra character. Like, Captain Ginyu and Nappa were complete surprises to me. I honestly didn't think that they would have made it in. And then Adult Gohan, I really thought that was a really interesting character selection as well. And some of these characters I kind of would have thought that they would have held back on and just kind of held them for maybe the sequel, maybe a Dragon Ball FighterZ sequel, and introduce some additional characters from the Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT worlds and whatnot. But apparently it looks like Bandai Namco is pretty much rolling everything up into a big old ball and basically trying to give it to us 100% all the way on this first go around. So, and that might just have something to do with them just trying to make sure that they make this game a success. They want to make sure that every possible player is made playable and whatnot. To be honest with you, I just want to make sure that Android 21 is playable. I really want to see her playable. I've heard so many arguments and comments and people going back and forth over whether she'll be playable or not. At this point, I just really want to see her playable. I want to see what she can do. I want to see what her moveset would be, all that yada yada yada. So that's just my concluding commentary there, guys. I hope you were entertained by that, and I hope you found this video to be informative. Like I said earlier, I will continue my coverage of Dragon Ball FighterZ news in the near future, all the way up through the release in January 26th. As soon as I hear something back on an open beta, I will do a video quickly for you guys. I'll have it uploaded so everyone will know. Anyone who's following my channel, you'll stay in the know with that. And I hope they give us a date fairly soon, because the release date is just around the corner. December's already here, and next thing you know, it'll be New Year's. So I would anticipate there being some sort of need to maybe expedite that open beta so fans can get to it before the actual release date. All right, guys. That's been my time. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in the next video. Astronaut out.